Us for this edition of the Tax Forum. Now, the Finance Minister presented the much-awaited budget to Ghanaians. In there, a lot of promises made by the running government were made, including the most talked about one, taxes. A number of taxes that the president during the campaign promised to take off were taken out of the tax net. But what really does it mean to you, and would it have positive implications for you? And also, with these taxes out, what does it mean for our revenue? Definitely, there's going to be some deficit. How does government intend to fulfill its promise to ensure it gets its revenue, to ensure infrastructure, development, etc. are gotten for you? When we come back, we'll find answers to these questions. And of course, I'll introduce to you the very strong panel that will be discussing some of these issues. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the City OXFAM Tax Dialogue. My name is Vivian Kai-Loko. Let me quickly take you through our guests for today's edition. We have in the studio the Honorable Thomas Nyako-Apem, is a Deputy Minister of Finance. He'll help us answer the questions on how government is going to get back the money based on the cutting of some of these taxes and the way forward. The Honorable, welcome.
Thank you.
We also have a former Deputy Finance Minister, Alex Ampabeng. He's also a tax expert. Years ago, he was on the other side looking at the issues with tax with regards to OXFAM proper. He went into government and his government put in place some of the taxes that this government has gotten out. Makes sense to him? He'll get some answers to us. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, and then we also have business. You know, in all these things, business have made a lot of proposals for or against some of these taxes. The new measures put in place by government, does it fit into their plan? We'll get answers from that. And to help us do that is Chona Makpelo. He's the Greater Accra Chairman of the AGI. Welcome.
Thank you.
And there's always the middle people who tell us as it is, telling us the truth where it is hidden. And so I have two ladies who will help us do that. One is Dr. Angela Azuma Alu. She's with OXFAM here in Ghana. Welcome, Doc.
Thank you.
And then I also have Miss Jennifer Moffat. She's also the country lead for Budget IT Ghana. Welcome. And later I'll be introducing our studio guests who will be asking some of the questions. And of course to you as well out there, we'll introduce or announce our phone lines for you to also ask questions to any of our guests for today. So, gentlemen and lady, welcome.
Thank you.
I'll start with the Honorable Minister because his government has read the budget and we're all, you know, looking forward to implementation and the way forward and all that. But first of all, let's start with the tax proper. I know during the campaign season, the president, together with quite a number of you, promised to take off these taxes, which you have done. Take us through the implications you're expecting. Is it just fulfilling the promises of Ghanaians? Because we saw earlier where governments will take off these taxes, come back and tell us, no, we can't hold, so we have to reintroduce. Is this different, or this time around it will be something else?
Thank you. Thank you. And I want to say that, yes, we have taken off a number of taxes in fulfillment of our campaign promise. President Mahama promised Ghanaians that when elected, he would remove E-Levy, he would remove betting tax, he would remove a number of other taxes, and true to his word, he has delivered. So we have done this to respect the social contract that President Mahama made with Ghanaians. But we did not just promise the removal of these taxes. We promised them because we were convinced that they had to be removed. E-Levy, for instance, every Ghanaian is aware of our opposition to the introduction of the E-Levy. We felt, and we still feel, that E-Levy is preventing financial inclusion. And there is a lot of report on that. And so we will not say this in opposition, win power and say, oh, because we want the money, let us continue to charge it anyway. So it is important that when you make social contract with electorates, and on the basis of that, they give you the mandate, you respect it. That is how politicians will be respected as people who keep their word. When you were introducing us, you referred to our dear days as the people who tell the truth. I think
based on experience, we will also that, fact, but we'll let it go.
Look at the track record of President Mahama since he assumed power. You see that he is walking the talk.
But this is early days yet, isn't it?
Yes, it is early days, but I mean, the beginning is showing that he's doing it. And so you should be hopeful. You shouldn't be the doubting Thomas. You should be a very optimistic
Well, they say
Thomas.
Once bitten, twice shy.
But President Mahama has always been candid with Ghanaians. And you see, it is important that when that happens, you also don't punish him for telling you the truth.
What it is, right?
Yes.
We know that we are struggling as a nation. This is known to all of us. The previous government even alluded to the fact that there were quite a number of challenges, and I believe many of the challenges economically led to the new president being brought into. I'll come into details, the exact taxes that you've taken out and the way forward, but I want Alex to address the E-Levy part. You say that it was a nuisance to all of us, but they believe that they should still continue to tax Ghanaians at the time, even though many Ghanaians wanted it out. Is it a sustainable removal of this tax being done by your competitors?
Thank you very much. I think to say we wanted E-Levy to continue isn't an accurate position. Because if you recall, before the election, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, our flag bearer at the time, did talk about removing the E-Levy. And I have been in this city studio more than 10 times on the E-Levy alone. And I'm sure you can play back my position on the E-Levy. That I think it was a tax. Of course, I understand from the government perspective at the time, the agency to introduce it. But E-Levy shouldn't be a tax that should stand, simply because it's just a money transportation tax, moving money from one person to another. No economic value has been created. But the E-Levy, as it stands, is not fit for the purpose. However, electronic-based taxation or e-commerce taxation is the angle, and I was hoping maybe this government or future years will look into part of broadening the tax net, taxing digital market players, which is part of the electronic transfer taxes, but not in the context of paying taxes for transferring money. So MPP, we don't have anything against the remover.
But why didn't you remove it at your time? I mean, you could have done that and it's concentrated on the electronic one.
It was going to happen.
At what point?
It was going to happen.
I mean, that's...
Just as you fulfill manifestos, you also had it in a manifesto that you're going to remove it.
You should have
done that. But you're already
that
in the financial year, and the promise was made that from January it was going to be scrapped anyway. So I'm sure you can get it online. I mean, Dr. Bawumia was very emphatic.
So you believe what the new government has done in taking it out completely is something that they can do without coming back to tell us that they want to implement, based on where you stood at the point where you could have taken it off, but you didn't?
We are going to take it off, and I think I have to reiterate that. Okay. And it's a distortionary tax, so I have no qualms on the remover. Maybe it will create, it's definitely going to create a loophole, but then how do we fix that loophole should be the conversation. But
we'll come to that.
The remover has, as a tax person, and an economist who understands the distortion certain taxes create, which E-Levy was one. I am happy it's gone. And it doesn't matter which government removed it. It was going to go from general.
My predecessor, I thought, well, I don't remember hearing you on record speaking against the E-Levy then.
Oh, a lot.
Well,
a lot.
I didn't hear that. I would have quoted you on several occasions if I knew
did.
that your position as a deputy minister then was against the
Yeah, I was.
Because,
in fact, my vetting, on my vetting,
okay.
if you have that short video on my vetting, the current minister of finance actually grilled me almost 15 to 20 minutes on my position on E-Levy because I said I was against it. So then his message that now that you're going to the ministry, are you going to change your position? And I said no.
Because it's helpful that we have dissenting voices
Absolutely.
within a government.
Yes.
I mean, the posture that we tend to support everything that our government initiates and speak against everything that our opponents, but it's not helpful. So I'm really happy hearing that. I wish I had that then. It would have been a reference that I would have made on every platform that, look, the E-Levy that you guys are preaching, some of your own people. And to be honest with you, off record, some of our colleagues on the other side will tell us that in fact at their way here, I mean, as for this thing, we know it's not good. But none of them will be bold to profess that openly. So I'm happy that you are also commending President Mahama for doing what you couldn't do.
No, for doing what you were about to do.
For removing this tax that we all agreed that
was unnecessary.
Necessary.
We would have removed it.
Okay.